So, you're looking for an affordable, reliable soldering iron for your electronics projects, Arduino tinkering, or maybe some simple jewelry work. /N, you've probably seen the Weller WHS40 all over Amazon and forums, praised as the best budget soldering station. /N, it promises precise temperature control, a comfortable grip, and Weller's trusted name, all for a price that seems almost too good to be true. /N, and that's exactly the problem. /N, because today I'm going to save you a significant amount of frustration, time, and yes, money. /N, I've put the Weller WHS40 through its paces for months, burning through tips and countless projects to give you the unvarnished truth. /N, for the best price. Click the link in the description. /N, but here's what surprised me. This isn't just a review, it's an intervention. /N, because while everyone is busy recommending this thing, they're ignoring the massive, glaring flaws that will have you pulling your hair out. /N, therefore, I'm telling you right now, don't waste your money on the WHS40. At least, not until you've heard this. /N, the curiosity loop slams shut right here. Is this popular tool actually a lemon in disguise, or is there a very specific type of user who might, against all odds, find it acceptable? /N, let's dive in. /N first, the unboxing and first impressions. It arrives in a simple, no-frills box. You get the station base, the iron itself, a sponge holder, and a small, slightly sad-looking sponge. /N, the build quality of the base feels okay. It's light plastic, but it's Weller, so you think. It must be decent, right? /N, the iron has a decent heft. The handle is reasonably comfortable for a pencil grip. It feels like a tool. /N, you plug it in, turn the dial, and the little light comes on. So far, so good. Temperature control from 350 to 850 degrees Fahrenheit. /N, you're thinking, hey, this might just work. But here's the first mini twist, the first rehook. /N, that temperature dial is your new worst enemy. It's about as precise as a weather forecast from 2 weeks ago. /N, you think you're setting it to a nice 700 degrees for some through-hole work. Think again. /N, therefore, your first solder joint might be perfect, and the next one will either cold solder because the iron's too cool or fry your component because it's secretly running 100 degrees hotter. /N, it's like the iron has mood swings. And speaking of moods, let's talk about the real star of this disappointing show, the heating element and tips. /N, this is where the WHS40's budget nature hits you like a freight train. It uses what Weller calls a short-life heating element. /N, that's not me being dramatic, that's literally what they call it. They expect it to wear out. /N, the tips are proprietary, and they are notoriously bad at transferring heat. You'll be sitting there, waiting for the iron to recover thermal mass after every single joint. /N, it's slower than a line at the DMV. Trying to solder a ground plane to a PCB? Forget it. This iron will stall out and leave you with a globby, cold mess. /N, but wait, it gets better, or worse, depending on your perspective. The tips oxidize faster than a cheap knife left in the rain. /N, you'll be constantly cleaning, tinning, and retinning, only to have the plating flake off after a few weeks of moderate use. /N, replacement tips aren't even that cheap, so your budget station becomes a money pit for consumables. /N, it's the printer-ending cartridge business model, but for melting metal. That's joke number 1, but it's a sad joke you're funding. /N, now, let's address the elephant in the room, temperature stability. Or should I say, the lack thereof. Good soldering station is like a reliable friend. It's there when you need it, providing consistent support. /N, the WHS40 is that friend who says they'll help you move, shows up 3 hours late, and then leaves after carrying 1 box. /N, the temperature swings are massive. I attached a thermocouple to the tip, and the readings were all over the place. /N, it might overshoot your set point, then dive down, then struggle to climb back up. This is a death sentence for sensitive components. /N, you could literally lift a pad off a board not because you're clumsy, but because the iron decided to have a thermal tantrum. /N, therefore, If you're doing anything beyond the most basic, occasional wire tinning, this instability is a project killer. \n remember that curiosity loop about who this is for. We're narrowing it down. Let's be contrarian for a second. Let's snap back. Is anything asterisk good about it? Well, it's better than a $15 Firestarter pencil iron from the hardware store. \n the base is weighted enough that it won't tip over easily. The rest, not much. The sponge holder design is fine. \n and that's about it. The promise of Weller quality is the biggest illusion here. This is a budget line product that trades heavily on a name built by their professional grade gear. \n it's like buying a Ferrari-branded bicycle. It has the logo, but you're still pedaling. That's joke number 2. You paid for the logo and you're getting pedaled. \n let's talk about longevity, or as I like to call it, the Great Disappointment timeline. Within the first month, you'll notice the performance degradation. \n the heating element starts to lose its pep. The temperature becomes even more of a suggestion. \n by month 3, if you're using it regularly, you'll be shopping for replacement parts or a whole new station. \n this is the core argument against the WHS40. It's false economy. You save $30 up front compared to some better options, but you'll spend more in tips and replacements within a year, not to mention the cost of ruined components. \n a ruined Arduino board costs more than the price difference between this and a good station. Therefore, the budget choice becomes the most expensive mistake on your bench. \n now for the resolution. Who, in the name of all that is holy, should actually consider this tool? \n if you solder literally once every 6 months to fix a single wire on a kid's toy, and you absolutely cannot spend $1 more, then maybe the WHS40 gets a pass. \n but even then, I'd tell you to look at a used, better station on eBay. For everyone else, the hobbyists, the makers, the students, the repair newbies, this station is a trap. \n it will teach you bad habits. It will frustrate you. It might even make you quit a fantastic hobby because you think you're bad at soldering when it's actually the tool that's bad. \n I've seen it happen, so here is my final definitive recommendation. \n and do not buy the Weller WHS40 and save up a little more. Invest in a station with real temperature feedback, like a Hakko FX888D or a Pinecil, or even a KSG RT12 station. \n the difference is night and day. It's like switching from a dull butter knife to a scalpel. Your projects will improve, your speed will improve, and most importantly, your enjoyment will skyrocket. \n soldering is a satisfying, almost meditative skill when you have the right tool. The WHS40 makes it a chore. \n therefore, consider this video your wake-up call. Don't fall for the Amazon reviews and the brand name allure. \n this tool is riding on a reputation it doesn't deserve. It's the soldering equivalent of a movie with a great trailer and a terrible plot. That's joke number 3. \n to wrap this up with a final, stark contrast. A good soldering station is an investment that lasts for years. The WHS40 is a consumable that you'll replace. \n I started this review telling you not to waste your money. I hope by now you understand why. The immediate value you get from a properly controlled, responsive iron is worth every penny of the upgrade. \n you'll waste more money on the cheap option in the long run. It's the oldest trick in the book, and the WHS40 is a textbook example. \n so what's the alternative? Well, I've done the research for you. I've linked the stations I actually recommend in the description below. \n they are the true, best budget options that don't sacrifice core performance. Click that link. Save your future self the headache. \n and if you ignore all this and buy the WHS40 anyway, don't say I didn't warn you when you're staring at a cold solder joint and a burning sense of regret. \n just remember, a bad workman blames his tools, but a smart workman doesn't buy bad tools in the first place. That's joke number 4, and it's the truest one here. \n for the best price on a soldering station that won't let you down, click the link in the description now.